Howdy, everybody. Welcome to ZealZaddy. We are in the depths of despair in our Old Gods of Appalachia campaign tonight. You can follow us everywhere at @ZealZaddy or on TikTok at ZealZaddy RPG. You can check out our D&D and Cypher System supplements on DriveThruRPG also. You can use the clip command, !clip, to save your favorite bits. The opening and closing music, by the way, they're different videos on both ends. One is an open and one is a closing. They're connected, but they're very cool, I think. It was composed by Nico Rhodes and sung by Melody McClellan. Both of them are part of OBP Musical.
Hi, I'm Nekola, aka Nekola the Druid, on all the social places. I'm that one girl that runs the overly unnecessarily extravagant charity streams, but mostly now you can find me over at Diversity Saves as the director of programming, managing Twitch and YouTube content. Diversity Saves is a 501c3 nonprofit that you can learn more about at diversitysaves.org. But tonight, I am little old Benny, a hardy explorer who becomes the beast and does not want to go into the coal mine.
Evening, y'all. My name is Robby, and I am a one-time podcaster for the Dungeon Initiative podcast, and now just a full-time player and GM of my own local campaigns. But I love every chance that I can to play in games like these or charity streams or anything that you have. This is my first time playing the Old Gods TTRPG, and I am loving every single freaking second of it so far. So, hope you all enjoy Walter Gwynnon, the perceptive beekeeper who masters the swarm.
Hello, everybody. My name is Grimm. You can find me at empathic_Grimm on all socials. I am here today to continue playing Father Bartimaeus Crowling, who is a cursed speaker who possesses the gift. I am a game designer and game reviewer. Please, again, keep your eye out on my itch page, which is going to be going into a link tree that I found we have together.
Hey, y'all. I'm Kayla, or just Kate, somewhere on the web, depending on when I joined the various interwebs portals. You may also know me as DM Dalliance. I have a ton of crazy things out there, including a newsletter you can join for all the crazy things that are too chaotic for where else you might know me from, which is as the general manager at Underground Oracle Publishing. We do things like Haro the Blighted Plane and wild space settings within Cypher. We release monthly Cypher short collections and all kinds of fun free things if you join our various social media and Patreon. I am playing Tegan Foxcroft, who is a perceptive tinkerer who crafts powerful objects and is also really hopeful they don't die from worms.
And back down the midnight green, searching the dark side of the mountain. Through my bones and hair and blood, words rise and cold snatched from my mouth to sink them into the cold black mud.
All right. Well, welcome back, family. When we reach the depths of despair, we usually know there are only two ways to go from there. Up and out, or to our end. A deep despair is just like a deep hole. There ain't no way out if you ain't got no fight left in you. Gazzy, exhausted from the seance of last week, or a few minutes ago, is worn, but concerned. She ain't the only one in Guilty Hole going through it, though. If only everyone could stop being drunk, maybe progress could be made on all these fronts. But hey, only a few days left until there's no drink for anyone. anywhere in the country. Guilty Hole will probably be back on the map and normal by then, I would hope, right? All right. So when we last left off, a seance had ended that had several people concerned or worried or just downright scared. And Gazzy leans back and says, I am so tired at this point. I have got to get some sleep now. I don't know what happened there, but you have just exhausted me with this. I'm so sorry, Walter, that I can't stay and do more, but I don't know if I can keep my eyes open anymore. Y'all can let yourselves out when you're ready. I don't know what happened. That was more than I expected.
I appreciate all the help, Gazzy. All 4 times that we've been here in the last 4 days.
And Erwin says, Gazzy, do you mind if I head on up there to the room that you let me use? Those visions are bothering me, and I need to not think about them. I would like to get some sleep also. Sure, you can use it. You can let yourself out when you're done. The rest of y'all, and there's some lemonade in there if you want it. If you want it to be more adult, the drink is in the jug. You can throw that in there at whatever level you want. Sorry, Father, I know you've been drinking a lot lately inadvertently, so you may not wish to partake the same way as others, but who knows?
I appreciate that, Gazzy. I believe that I'll be refraining for the foreseeable future.
And she stands up and kind of heads to the stairs. You can see she's dragging. Like, that really did take a lot out of her. You hear her stomp upstairs slowly, and Erwin goes up slow after. And the rest of you are left behind at this table with the misty glowing orb in the center of the table and concern all over everyone's faces.
I think you just see like Tegan kind of like nervously like tapping the table and then gets up and starts muttering and pacing because that's like Tegan think mode, and Tegan's like, okay. We're gonna need TNT, we're gonna need soap, we're gonna need sawdust, we're gonna need animal fat, we're gonna need wicks, we're gonna need guns, we're gonna need ammos, we're gonna need something to carry all of that, we're gonna need torches, maybe a bird so we don't die from that because that's a normal mind thing and not like a bad worm mind thing. We're gonna need chalk.
Is this what happens when she gets flustered?
Yeah, it's pretty normal.
So this is not the stage to be worrying yet.
And then like
yet.
Takes out the pencil from behind their ear and like walks over to the nearest large piece of wood, which I assume is a wall, and just starts like drawing like diagrams and things.
On her wall?
Yes.
On Gazzy's wall.
Yes.
Oh, you'll hear about that.
Yeah, I know, Will. But totally
Is
just
that
like
something to worry about?
it's just zoned in, and it's just like I'm figuring out the problem so we can not die and also not die and also not die.
Tegan may have gone over the deep end.
She was already there. So what? So Walter's been kind of sitting back, watching Tegan kind of doing her thing. He's seen this many times before, but he's very, very much lost in thought and kind of a little sullen. He just heard his wife and his daughter for the first time in quite a while, and is led to believe that they are in fact alive, but in a place so dark and covered in worms. And I get up from the table, kind of push the chair out from behind me. Taking what you got.
And you just see like the tail end of Tegan being like, the thumb is 6 seconds and an arm length is like a foot, and then it's 3, and so that's like 15 seconds, and so we're gonna need and then he like, dang it, and then she like pauses Like you can see like there's like some sort of calculation going on, and she turns around and she's like, "So, I think we need a trip to the general store and back to the mostly intact former residence of myself to gather some stuff. And then I think we just go. I mean, there's no point waiting when we know kind of where it is because it's the creepy place by the creepy place with the giant eye thing. Seems like our best bet. Uh, yeah.
I was thinking the same thing. Minus all the calculations.
Mhm. We're gonna need a lot of twine.
All right, well, if you got a list, let's get to it.
And then she realizes at that moment that she's been using the wall and then pulls out her little notebook, copies over what she needs, and just like does her best to just like
That's not coming off, Damon.
it's pencil, it's fine.
That's not coming off.
It's fine.
And it's actually
It's fine, Scrapite, it's fine. Let's go do this.
You're the one that's dealing with Gazzy, which even I would be unwilling to do. So
It's okay. If we don't die from this, I'll probably have to repaint the house as well. Let's go.
Benny's just been standing there doing that thing where, you know, when you like awkward and you don't know what to do, so you're just like flattening the tablecloth. But she's progressed to doing it all over the table, like getting because she just doesn't know what to do. She's just like, mm-hmm. And the tablecloth is the flattest it's ever been.
Benny,
Yes?
you don't have to go into the mine.
But I can help.
So, I am trying to do this the kindest way possible to you because I do not want to just diminish that desire to help. It is a wonderful gift and something to be nourished. In this instance, I am not sure if you can.
Benny like looks between like Walter and Tegan. And she quietly goes, I can help.
Tegan is suddenly super interested in whatever's on the nearest bookshelf.
Don't make me laugh. Benny goes,
Hold
They
on, I'm
made
picking up
it.
an odd sound that almost
where?
my dog barked and it went away. And no, it's back again. Does one of you have kind of a buzzing machine behind you?
I hear it. I don't know where it's coming from.
1 second.
That was it.
Yeah, I'm using my old laptop, and the fan is
We're in.
very old.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, what is
I
that
am-
right now? Is that me?
I'm trying my best to. I have my mic
All
as
right.
far away as I can get it from.
Okay, no problem. I'd rather
So
just
I
know
am-
it's not me, and I can. And,
I
you know,
am so
I can
sorry.
deal
That
with
is,
it.
that is me.
All right. Sorry, it took me a moment to try and figure that out, and it took me out of my mindset. Can you go back and let me know what you guys were doing? Because my brain went off into technical correction mode for a moment.
There are certain things that children should not have to worry about, and certain monsters that children should believe are imaginary. This is one of those times where as much as I want to nurture your desire to help in this, there are dangers here that a child should not have to risk.
I understand that, and I'm very appreciative of how you've helped me and kept me safe over the last few months. But do you remember when Walt and Tegan said that there was a bear that attacked the truck?
I do.
That bear was me. I can change into animals. And I really think I can help in the mine.
You see Bartimaeus just turns and looks towards Walt.
I'm crying. I didn't think I would do that.
Is this true?
Believe it or not, well, I think you may have seen Stranger Things.
I have seen Stranger Things, and the ability to transform oneself into the beasts of the earth can be either an immense gift from the Lord, which, given your heart as I've come to know it, Benny, I am more inclined to believe that than, you being foolish enough or someone who would enhance a demon into bartering with you. I wouldn't even believe you know what to do if a demon would barter with you, Benny, being entirely honest.
We just got cut off from the internet.
You are not a fool. You are not a foolish child, Benny. You are many things. You've lacked the opportunities to gather a proper education for one your age, which is of no fault of your own. But you are not a foolish child. You know that if you do this, and I am not your parent, I am not legally your guardian in any conceivable way, I have no ability to stop you. But I do want you to understand that if you do join us down there, there's a very real risk that something permanent can happen to you that cannot be undone. There are chances, even with the safest going underground into a mine, when there aren't demonic worms seeking to destroy the earth as we know it, there are threats in a mine that all it takes is a fault in one of the walls, and bad air can flood a mine shaft. Isn't that correct, Tegan?
Yeah, it's always bad down there.
I am not in a position where I can order you not to go. I caution you in coming with us. I'm coming with because I have a feeling that this is why I'm currently being called to Guilty Hole. The events of 2 years ago have come and passed, and from what I can tell from my walkings around, have been resolved. But there's something sinister in this place. There's something that I have only seen a couple of times before in my tenure as an exorcist for the church. The evil here is real, in a way that is beyond the means of mortal men. And what I want to do, Benny, is put you on a train back to St. Louis right now with a note attached to you saying to the Father Superior of the Basilica to take you in under my name, is what I'm being screamed at in the back of my head. But I am not your parent. If I was to have a child, I wish that they would be as, clever as you are. But I do want what is best for you. And I don't know if going down into this hole is what that is.
I think, I think that, I think that, I think that if God was as smart as everyone says he is, then he put that tiger on that revival to lure me over there, to bring me here. And so I really think that I really think that I'm supposed to help. I've literally been running for so long, and you are the first 4 people who have ever known that I have this secret, and I think there has to be a reason for it. And I know that it's scary, and I'm very scared right now, but it's also really scary to just be out in the world, because there's lots of good and there's lots of bad, and yeah, I guess I really feel that this is where I should be. And I know that I know I'm only 11, but
So
I should be here to help.
if you are, sorry, there was a plane flying low by my house. If you are going to do this, I look around and I seal a piece of paper from one of the nearby cupboard drawers, which is always full of everything. And I take a moment and I write out a quick letter, and you see him reach into his necklace, around his neck. You see him reach, and he pulls out a crucifix, and you see him fiddle with it, and he pops a signet ring off of the crucifix. Seals it, takes a candle, pours some wax, and seals it using his signet ring. If things go bad, someone needs to get this to St. Louis. And Benny, you're the best chance of that happening, okay? If I tell you to run, I need you to run. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
You will take this, and however it is you get to St. Louis, you get to St. Louis. You go to the Basilica. It's the biggest church in town. You'll be able to see it from any train station. You can see it from the riverfront. It's the big church with the big cross on top. You take it there. You ask for Father St. James. You give him this. He will take care of you, and he will send people to take care of what's going on here. More than just me, he'll send an army of people like me if that's what needs to happen. Okay? And I
don't think there's a lot of people out there like you, Father.
I appreciate that. And, he just gently brushes the top of her head as he hands her the letter.
And from outside you hear, in the distance, Gazzy, I need to talk to you, Gazzy. And you recognize that voice as Mrs. Crandall, who is the, she manages the sawmill.
That's never good. That's not good. No.
Should we be worried?
Tegan's already walking towards the door to go out.
when you get to the door,
That's the lady.
huh?
No,
Benny whispers. That's the lady that cut the arm off the bleeding tree.
Oh, perfect. Tegan, could you take the child, please?
Tegan's already out the door.
When you open the door, you see that the horses are keeping her from entering the property, like leaving her at the roadside, and she's yelling as loud as she can, and she's stumbling about, and she falls over asleep, like she's drunk or something.
That can't be good either.
Ian.
Benny's behind Tegan.
Hey! And just claps in her face.
You're going out there beyond the horses.
Yeah, I'm just gonna clap in her face and be like, hey, wake up!
Oh,
I'm
going
following
on?
Tegan too.
You ain't who I thought I was going to see here. What are y'all doing here?
A lot of things going bad, okay? What is your particular badness today?
It's a secret I can't talk to y'all about. I can only talk to Gazzy about it.
Well, Gazzy's asleep, so you're gonna need to tell us.
Can I go wake her up?
These gentlemen, and I'm gonna point at the nice horses,
They
do
won't
not
let-
see
They
you
won't let me pass. They never let me go. They're so mean. I don't know why she made her horses so mean.
They are such good boys.
If I put my arm through, they'll bite me. I know like my limit. Oh,
I would
Tegan
recommend
gives
not
them
putting your
both
arm
sugar
on that.
cubes. Gives them both sugar cubes. You're just good boys. Okay, but I
and
need you to tell us
And
what's
she
going on.
leans forward with her hands on her knees. Hold on. I'm so sorry. And she turns around. You ought not see this. Hold on. And she goes behind a tree, and then she starts heaving, and you just hear the like. Bleh.
Tegan goes over to what I assume is like a water trough for the horses and just gets a bucket of water and goes over and just dumps it on her. Come on, sober up.
Oh no, it's too cold. Make me an intelligence check, both you and Walter. Both of you are there.
Oh gosh.
Intelligence.
God dang it.
For the record, Benny did not follow Tegan when Tegan went out. She's still on like the porch.
Okay.
And I gotta stop muting myself because I said something real funny a second ago. Are there frogs?
They're not frogs. It is just normal things like corn and carrots and alcohol.
Nope.
Lots of
that's-
alcohol.
That's a 13.
And an 18 for Walter.
Walter, you notice that there's an impression in the ground here. It looks like a footprint, but it looks like it's about 10 feet long. A human footprint, like a shoe or something, or like a gigantic footprint. Makes no sense. Maybe it's just the way that the ground, bent from the water that happened in the last rain or something.
It's just outside of Gazzy's property.
Yeah.
Hey, Tegan.
Yeah?
Tegan's standing in it next to.
Yeah, my assumption was
Cranberry.
like I'm standing in it, which is why I did not see it.
It's not that deep. It's only like a half-inch deep, but standing back a little bit gives you a perspective that allows you to notice it.
You seeing what I'm seeing?
I'm so
Very
sorry.
intoxicated Miss Graham.
Yeah. Is that a foot?
Tegan's gonna look down, and then this is so Tegan. I'm sorry, guys. Is immediately going to lay down and like try and measure it with their body.
Yeah, it's a little bigger than your body.
Didn't
It's
you say
definitely
some
big.
giant thing attacked your house?
I said that, the entity whose heart was making everybody drunk reclaimed their heart by picking up the roof.
Yeah, I'm assuming if something's tall enough to rip off my roots, it's probably gonna leave a big footprint.
I will admit I should not have tried to stab silver nails through the heart, but
Nah, I would have done it too.
I was
It's all in your nature.
I was quite frustrated at the moment, and unfortunately, the Crusades were a thing. They come from the
if
church.
I can't talk to Gazzy, I gotta talk to you then, because I got a real problem, and I don't know how to solve it.
Is it one of your own making, my child?
Does it involve that damn tree?
It may be a sacrifice to summon a deity of drunkenness.
I'll say 2 out of 3 of those is probably about right. Not all 3, though.
Are you saying you did not cause what happened?
Oh, I caused something, I think. I mean, I don't
Were you
know, but
playing
it
with
sure
things-
seems like it. Or all right.
Were you messing with things that mortals ought not mess with?
Maybe.
I'm gonna give a little leeway for that because I do that too, but in a less apparently destructive way.
Well,
You know, Tegan, if I bring you back to the church, we have uses for someone like you if you like making money.
I like making money, but also I have uses for the church after this too.
my Twanas worked. I didn't think they were gonna work.
Can I roll a check for what
You
means?
may. And you're
'Cause
Where's
this is
our
something that
linguist when we need it?
Yeah,
No, this
seriously.
is what I actually think that Bartimaeus probably would know of.
Yeah.
Ooh, 19.
A Twana is a figure of someone made out of wood that you then use for spell casting or whatever you're going to do with them.
And whose Twana did you create?
Oh, I created a few too many, I think.
Whoa,
And
whoa,
now-
whoa!
and
You
now
made multiple.
Out of what?
I don't know if I want to say out loud.
Out of what?
Bleeding tree. I bet it was bleeding tree.
You know what I made it out of.
Bleeding tree. It was
'Cause
totally
It has
bleeding
to
tree.
come from your mouth. What did you create?
The stem of the
The
bleeding
Twana
tree, I
out of.
made the Twanas, and now they won't come back to work no more. I can't even find them.
You tried to make things that would work for you for free, didn't you?
No, I tried to put. I had
You-
a requirement. I had to put down the attempt at unionization in the sawmill. So I tried to get them to not want to become union members, and it seemed to have gone too far. And now I can't find them no more.
So even worse than summoning something, which you can get rid of from banishing or killing, you used whatever a Twanis is on an actual person.
On 6 of them.
And people
And
say
tried to
I'm
prevent
crazy.
So-
the union.
So, Bartimaeus
I was told by the
grabs the
boss I
sword.
got to put a stop to this union talk. It's just going to ruin our business.
Bartimaeus grabs this woman by the collar and slams her into a
And
tree.
she's so drunk. She just sort of, she doesn't even hardly get hurt. She's kind of like, oh, I'm
No,
sorry.
and I smack her across the face. Just, where did you create these things?
At my house.
Show me.
Tegan is still laying in the footprint, just staring up at the sky now, and she just raises her hand for Father Barnabas' attention.
Yes, Tegan. Not even looking behind him. Yes, Tegan.
So I can do a thing. We might not need her to find the things.
If you were a member of my church, I'd just drops her. Repent.
I'm so sorry. I didn't think it would do that. I thought it would just make me forget
Repent.
about it.
Properly give back to the people, to the poor, and
Or,
just
let
down
the
all
union
of
happen. Let the union happen. Just do that. That's your repentance. And she goes from laying flat to being straight up and in her face.
And when she leans forward, she I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And she puts her arm around you, thinking, I didn't mean it for it to work like this. I'm so sorry.
I'm going to use that physical connection to do trace the threads.
Okay.
So I can choose a magical creature or object or one that's used magic or had magic used on them in order to follow, hunt, find, interact with, and understand the magical quarry. And I'm using my connection with her since she did the magic on whatever Twanus is, because Tegan doesn't know this,
Make me
to locate those.
Make me an understanding magic roll. This will be separate from doing that.
I feel like Benny and I are just like, hell yeah, in the background right now.
Benny might be going, Father Bartimaeus can be scary.
So that's a 19.
Nice.
Benny is like jaw dropped, holding a piece of cornbread. Don't ask where she got the cornbread. But she like hands a piece to Walt and is just like, it's the equivalent of like popcorn.
Gives you a little bit of honey to put on top of it.
How come nobody takes her lima beans or her black-eyed peas? They always take the cornbread.
Because the cornbread's the best part.
There is a tray of cornbread on my stove right now. I really want it.
When she hugs you, her purse, not a purse, it's a bag, a satchel. The top of it flips open a little bit, and when she's hugging you, you look down and you can see inside the satchel is a bunch of wood pieces and forms.
I'm going to use the fact that she's really intoxicated to take that bag off her.
It just slips right off.
Okay, I'm like, and this is mine now. But so when I do trace the threads, you almost see like when I move away from her having the bag, you almost see like I also take something like almost looks like a thread for a moment and then just kind of fades away. And I now can track whatever magic is associated with this Twana stuff.
So you take one of the Twanas, touched your thread, and the one you take. Hold on, I want to look at the spell for one moment.
It's called Trace the Threads.
Yeah, I know it's on your sheet. There was something I wanted to check on it real quick. Oh, I think I opened the wrong one of your character sheet. So trace the thread. Okay. Oh, so you understand them also.
Mm-hmm.
Can you roll me a d6? I'd like to know which one of the Twanas you have pulled.
Mm-hmm. 4.
So you know that the person that is magically connected to this Twana, her name is Janice Brock. She works at the sawmill. She's lived in town for quite a long time. She's kind of respected. She's older now, 35, 40. And she's always been kind of, she's always tried to keep the mill from pushing too hard and cutting too many trees, and promoted planting versus just cutting and all that. And
So she's a friend of the green.
yeah, and she has no family that lives here anymore. Her children have moved on, and her husband passed away in the mines years ago. And you feel a sense that it's like you get a sense of direction. And you can kind of feel that it's sort of to the northwest, which that's actually the direction of the mine, but not the mine, of the sawmill.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not exactly there necessarily, but it's in that overall direction. You think
Keegan's gonna go full like pointer hound and be like, this way.
What you doing there? Oh, you found the Twanas. I see. I think what we need to do is just take them apart, and maybe that will undo the magic on them. You think?
Can I roll on that?
Yeah, you can roll.
Benny's 11, and she even thinks that's a bad idea.
It's a bad idea.
16.
Yeah, that would not undo the magic. That would actually make it impossible to undo the magic.
You realize that what you're wishing to do by doing that is permanently binding the individual, correct?
No.
Here's what you are going to do.
This was an accident. I didn't mean for it to work. I thought it
You
was...
will be quiet and listen. Here's what you are going to do. You are going... Stop it, Tegan. Stop it, Kayla.
I'm listening. Don't worry, Father.
You-
She puts her hands on her knees. I'm sorry. Just go on.
You are going to go home, sober up, and next time the conversation of unionizing happens, you will sit down, shut up, and let them do so.
I don't know how I got drunk. I wasn't even drinking. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Father. And she tries
Relevant.
to turn and she throws up some more. A little bit splashes on your shoe and stuff. I'm sorry. I tried to not do it.
Go home, sleep
All
it
right,
off.
I'm gonna go home. You sure I can't talk to Gaz and wake her up? She might know.
Go home.
All right, I'm going. And the horses are off to the side of you, kind of stomping at the ground. And she looks back and she shoots a bird at them, at the horses, and then turns and stumbles away, like tries to run without running.
We still have her bag though, right?
Yeah,
I do, yeah.
Take it, totally stole it.
Good, good.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd call it stolen, considering I just took it off her and she didn't find it.
Appropriation of needed items.
So Tegan is going full hunting hound on this. This dog hunts, and it's just like this way. It's just doop-de-doop-de-doo. God.
All right.
Well,
The
she's
rest of
gotta
y'all
see it.
following.
Gotta follow it.
All right, so you get to the Guilty Hole Hill, and it's on the other side. You can feel it's on the other side. Do you just go over the hill, or do you go around the hill?
Guilty Hole Hill, that was the place with the haunted house, was it not?
Yeah,
And-
the
and the
house
mine
and the
entrance.
mine. Yeah,
I'm gonna treat it like the bleeding tree right
Okay.
now. For the moment, it's gonna be treated like the bleeding tree.
All right. So you go around it. It takes a little more time. You get to the mill, and it goes further. It's not here. It's just in the same direction it was. It goes deeper into the woods.
Now, attitudes, please remember, if you see it, no you didn't. If you hear it, no you didn't. If it called your name, no it didn't.
I've dealt
If
with,
it
I've
looks-
dealt with such things.
If it looks yummy, don't eat it.
Yeah,
Don't eat it.
that's probably always a good one.
Don't eat it.
Especially if it glows there, Benny.
Mm-hmm.
Please tell me this isn't a reference to something that happened while I was recovering.
This
Okay.
is
It absolutely was not.
totally
Common guilty hole
innocent.
reference.
Yeah, don't put glowing things in your mouth. It's good knowledge for everyone to have.
You go past.
Benny does the cross because she doesn't
Backwards.
know how to like
She does it
repent
backwards.
for lying.
She does it backwards.
You go.
No, okay, Nekola's doing it correctly. My camera's flipping it.
That's fair.
Oh.
That's fair. That's fair.
I like to think Betty does it backwards.
Right.
Benny does do it backwards.
Quite serendipitous that was.
Oh, that was very good. Benny
go-
does do it backwards. Nekola did it for 18 years. She's
Right.
doing it the right way.
You go through the mill. Can I get an intelligence check from everyone?
— 17.
Walter got a nat 1.
Oh, nice. Okay, thank you.
20.
I figured you might want to know that one in particular.
20 and what Benny get?
Oh, 5?
5. All right, that's no big deal.
It's not a nat 1.
Better than a 1.
When you're chased
Walter.
by a bear, you just got to run faster than the slowest one.
You're going through the mill, and you know there are a few people here working here. There mostly it's shut down. It's late, but there's always a few people working and doing stuff they ought to be doing. But as you exit the mill, you start entering the forest, and almost immediately you see there is a small tree with black wood bark with thorns, and it looks like a baby bleeding tree has sprouted over here.
I do not like that.
But this is not where the person is. You feel that it's further you need to go.
I'm gonna treat it like a grown-up bleeding tree and just give it a nice little birth.
Hey, hold on one second there, Tegan. Father, what does your religious nose got any kind of scent coming from this thing? Can we burn it? Can we salt it? Can we throw it off a cliff? We can't keep these in guilty hole.
Let me attempt something real quick. You see him reach, and you see him pull out from his attaché. You see him pull out that wooden box again. Setting it down, he flips it open. He takes out the stool, puts it around his shoulders. You see him take that hammer and a couple silver nails, a bottle of oil, and a bottle of salt. And you see him as he's walking, he actually flips the hammer in his hand a couple times as he's approaching. And Holy Mother, Most Holy Mother, Queen of Angels and Archangels, send me your champions, the Archangel Saint Raphael, the Archangel Saint Gabriel. Let them heal me in my spiritual and physical ailments in Jesus' holy name. Let me cleanse this land. Let me purify these people. And on that last one, he catches it, and setting it up so that the silver nail drives through first blessed oil, then the salt drives the nail home into the core of this tree.
When you do that, it shatters and splinters the wood, and Walter gets stuck by a thorn that flies out from it on his arm, like lower arm, like a thorn found him. And the tree, it's not big, but you can see around where you hammered it in, there's this blood that drips out, and the tree weeps. It bends over and lets the blood flow, or whatever
Tegan,
it is.
Fire, please.
Of course, Father. Matches.
Blessed Lord, preserve this place, protect these people, dispel the evil. In the name of Jesus, Son of Nazareth. Amen.
Send that shit straight to hell.
And you bring the fire to it, and the blood itself, or whatever, the sap, that's really what it is, just looks like blood. It catches a little bit. It doesn't catch hard, but it catches like it burns like embers, not like a flaming block of wood. And out of the hole, flies come out, hundreds of flies. The flies that, Walter, you've seen that hunt bees even.
I'm like protecting my face and my bees that are generally in my visage are kind of huddled up in there, and I'm just like this.
Yeah, the flies, they come out and they roll past you, Father, and the rest of y'all, and they go up into the trees and fade into the darkness in the canopy of the forest. And then the tree, not very big, the sap burns away after a bit, and the tree stays limp.
Well, that seems like a problem for another time.
First
Good
the
job.
worms, then the trees.
Good job on the mini bleeding tree. I have a feeling that that's going to be worse with the grown-up one.
I have more powerful things than that to bring to bear against the bleeding tree once this is all said and done.
Remind me to bring more fire. I think we're going to need more fire.
Oh, we're going to need a lot of fire.
Yeah.
You
fire.
turn around, Turn around and Benny is fully 30 feet away. Nope. Benny's
Correct.
learned some things.
Correct answer, Benny. That is
Fully
the
that far
correct thing to
away.
do. Yes.
Taking you lead them, continue on, and you get to a cabin in the woods that you know to be Janice Brock's. It's not a big cabin, and your feeling says it's the right direction, but not in the cabin, maybe out back. But you feel you're close.
Please prepare for a possibly violent confrontation. I cannot guarantee the mental state of this woman after the woohoos was done on her. But she's behind the house somewhere. Let's go.
If she is violent, let me speak to her. I can hold her attention and keep her focused while you figure out what to do about her.
Hey, you know,
Got it, Father.
knocking on her door. Tegan, you got some tweezers or something?
No, but I got this knife. Pulled out the big knife.
Why? Let me take that for just a second.
I
Benny
have
pulls
so
out
many
a
knives.
tiny pocket knife. Because literally the only item I wrote on my character sheet was pocket knife.
You know, actually, here, Tegan, why don't you take this back? I think a smaller knife would probably help out a little bit better.
I don't know. I had to use that knife to get it out of Miss Crandall, so you might need the big knife too.
Hey, Father, can you pour a little of your
I can do you
water on
one.
there?
I can do you one better. Move your hand. I take one of the silver nails and put holy oil on the nail. And don't flinch. I have
30
steady
feet
hands,
away.
but if I don't flinch, but I have steady hands. Don't flinch. And I'm going to attempt to just skewer out the thorn using a blessed silver nail.
All right,
I really don't like the word choice, sir.
I like the word choice.
you take a point of damage, and there is something unusual that happens when this thorn is pulled out. It burns and bubbles against your skin and in deep where it had poked you, and then it subsides after it falls out and the nail is removed. It tingles a bit more for a moment, and then it's over and gone.
When dealing with anything
there's
demonic
a
or
hole.
supernatural, silver, you see as he's wiping the nail, silver is always the way to choose. Blessed by God, known by the ancients even before his knowledge.
Damn, that's
It
worse
needs to
than any bee
purify.
sting I ever got. Shit.
Let me look at it.
Yeah, there's an unnaturally bubbly kind of burn on him where the hole was. Not like a cut or a hole you'd get from pulling, but more like the silver burned on him where the thorn were.
That's what I was afraid of. I take and I put a little bit more blessed oil onto the burn, and I wrap it real quick.
It feels better at this point.
Damn, thank
Yeah,
you,
no.
Father. I appreciate it.
You pick up some tricks. It wasn't the first time I've had to pull. You see as he unbuttons his cassock for a second and pulls it down, and you see that there is a similar burn mark wrapping around his neck and down, all the way down to the center of his chest.
That looked
I understand these
like
things.
a lightning strike.
Some things, when they try to grab a hold of you, it's as physical as it is spiritual.
I think I'll stick to my bees, thanks.
I would recommend it. I recommend very few do what I do.
And what are you doing now at the woman's cabin?
You said she's not in the cabin, she's like
Yeah,
behind the
you said
cabin,
it's
so
behind the cabin or
I'm
something.
just gonna like circumnavigate the front door entirely and just start going around the house.
When you get out in the backyard, you see one unusual sight. There's a hole 2-3 feet wide that you cannot see the bottom of. And you get this feeling from this thing that she's down there,
It just goes straight down.
straight down.
I'm gonna
I
take
flipped
a rock and just throw it into the hole.
It goes for a little ways and then.
So,
We
there.
have to go down the murder hole, don't we?
I would suggest maybe waiting until we're packing because I have a feeling that connects with the mind, and we need to be prepared before we go underground. Especially because none of y'all have done it before, and newbies tend to panic, and that actually leads more likely to your death than anything else underground. Um, Few guidelines. We're gonna get chalk. Mark your way as you go, so that if you get lost, you just follow chalk marks back. If it's starting to be hard to breathe, turn around, run away, run the other way. If you find tracks for the like mine carts, follow the little tongued parts. That will lead you to the outside. If you feel wind, follow it, because the closer and more powerful you feel the wind, the more likely you are close to a surface and to get rescued and or get the heck out. If you feel yourself panicking, don't panic. That you're gonna die. It's fine.
And you all feel the ground shift a little bit.
Back up, back up, back up, back up.
30 feet away.
Correct
And it just
answer.
doesn't for a moment. It don't continue
I
very
don't
long.
trust it.
And it doesn't seem to rattle the ground like the ground quakes that you've been feeling lately. A little, not as strong as that kind of thing.
Okay, I'm also going to test something because I am currently honed in on Twanus number 4, Janice Brock.
Correct.
I'm going to pick up another Twanus and spend the points to do another trace the threads on this one. Is it pointing towards the same hole?
Roll me a D6.
Yes. 1.
That one you get the feeling it is connected to B.J. Trombley, Billy Joe Trombley. He he was kind of a younger sawmill worker. He's actually a teamster. He's big and husky, but it is not here. You do not feel it's here. It is off to your right and somewhere that direction, which would be northeast. And you came here northwest.
Okay, so this is a different location. So my assumption, I am assuming, so please consider me an ass if you need to, is that all of these are going to lead to a hole in the ground at different locations. Again, whole mine, all your safety rules I just gave you, but we should probably go get guns and things that go boom and some more rope and probably lanterns and a bird, maybe, if we can get a bird.
Well, so if we're headed into the mine, and what way are we? We were originally planning on going in back at Guilty Hole Hill. Should we follow one of these Twana holes?
I'm gonna be real. This place is a veritable catacomb of tunnels. So if something goes down, it's likely to hit the mine at some point.
Would it not be safer for us to travel over known ground for as long as possible?
Safer for me? Yes. Y'all know, because the longer y'all are in the mines, the more likely you to die, because you've never been underground. It gets to you, man. It's like being that far underground in the dark with all that dirt above your head. It does something to you the first couple times.
So you still think we should go in back at Guilty Hole Hill instead of one of these Tawana's holes?
Well, I'm saying that we have two choices here, really. Are we saying the worm is priority, or are we saying the Twanus is priority?
The odds are they're leading us to the same location either way.
Yes. I feel like the guilty hole entrance is gonna take us maybe closer to the worms faster, and going down this hole, we're gonna run into a Twanus before we run into the worms. So, do we want to be between a worm and a Twanus, or do we want to deal with the Twanus before we get to the worm?
I
What
want
if
to deal
doing-
with these damn worms.
What if dealing with the worms deals with the Twanus?
Does the Twanus feel wormy to me?
Is it flexible?
Does the
Does it
Twanus
get
feel
wiggly?
wormy?
No,
Does it wiggle?
it doesn't give you that kind of information. You don't get that kind of details. It just
The largest evil, from what I can tell, outside of maybe the leading tree, is the worms. And powerful evil can make even normal craft work go awry. So it's possible, and likely even, that dealing with the worms will cause a cascade in our favor by getting rid of the larger evil.
So take the wind out of their sail.
But doesn't
That also
didn't the big John Barleycorn come from the Twanus?
I have no literal idea. However, it also, Father, if what you said is correct, in my experience, something powerful like that would be like a lightning rod for less powerful things. And so my concern then becomes that if we head directly towards the worm, we'll also be heading directly towards 6 other things potentially, and have to deal with all 7 at the same time. And I don't know about you, but the maths don't math.
You bring up a fair point.
I'm illiterate and I don't even think that maths.
It don't math.
It doesn't matter. You bring up a fair point, but part of the issue is without having more knowledge about what these worms are and exactly. May I see one of those Twanus?
I got 6 of them. Why not?
Can I take a look and using my understanding magic and my just general knowledge of such things, figure out whether there was an issue with the crafting, whether there was an issue with how it was being set, see if there's any just eliminating possibilities.
I'll also provide the help action.
all right. I'll give you a roll with your understanding magic. Eased by 1.
Used by 1, so that's an 18.
All right. So you think that they were crafted plenty okay, but you don't think Mrs. Crandall had an understanding of what they really did. She kind of thought they would make their minds not want to do something, but that's not what it does. What it does is it eliminates them from the equation somehow. And she didn't understand that she didn't pick how. And when you're looking at it, studying it like this, you do see that there are some symbols carved into these things that you kind of recognize maybe from the book that Irwin has.
I'm not a fan of that.
Son of a bitch.
Those were bad words, Benny, don't use that.
Unless entirely necessary.
Betty and I
Not
are
now.
actually playing fetch. She's a dog right now.
I'll allow it.
With a Twanus.
No!
Drop it, Betty, drop
Stop
it.
it! No, Benny, no! No, Benny, no! I am... Tegan, please tell me I'm not seeing what I think I'm seeing.
Oh no, you're totally seeing what you're seeing. So
What is it that we are
Explosives.
seeing right now?
New theory.
Marks from the professor's book.
Yeah.
You
marks
mean
from
the professor that said we were all gonna die?
The professor's book, use bleeding tree, now goes underground. None of these are good things. All of these are terrible things combined.
How much red thread you got, Tegan?
I got so much red thread, you don't even realize.
So
So where does this all lead then?
Underground, it looks like. Yay!
currently underground. I hate to do this. I look into my bag and I count my remaining silver nails. If you were to, when you are crafting your explosives, for the one we will save until we get to the worms, I am going to give you about half of my remaining silver nails to mix in as shrapnel.
I have a mechanical question about the nails.
Okay.
If I were to take a full-size nail and maybe cut it into a couple pieces so it's sharp on both ends to make more shrapnel out of a
Sure.
single piece of nail that's already holy and silvered,
Yeah.
would that negate the holy silver
The
nail?
blessings.
Yeah.
You have no idea. You are so unreligious.
Yeah,
Would I have an answer? Would I have an answer to that question
You
if she
think that it
shares
is
the
blessed
thought?
in the form that it has been blessed.
Okay, yeah. So cutting them down would, at that point, I would have to re-bless them, and these are currently blessed by a cardinal who is much higher on the ranks than I am. My blessing wouldn't carry the same.
Would sharpening
to
them on both ends get rid of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't just go in and
they are
transform.
as they are.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I mean-
the concept of the blessing is the form as it is when it is blessed.
Follow-up question. You said you can bless things too. So if we put the higher blessing nails in mixed up with shrapnel that's been lower blessed,
In theory, I'd have to get some.
It probably depends on
Baptists
holy
use
recipe.
holy. Baptists use holy water.
Mhm.
I could work with that. I have to go to the Baptist church. I
that's
see
okay.
your
We gotta
idea.
go to the
There's not a
general
Baptist church here. There's Presbyterian and Methodist.
Methodist.
Methodist. I think Methodists use holy water. We
Methodists have it. It's just not as much as what a Baptist church would have.
yeah.
Baptists have giant pools of holy water. A bit more useful.
I mean, as a former Methodist, we do use holy water for baptism. So if
Right.
they have some sort of baptismal thing, it would technically be holy water.
Holy water, yes. Yeah.
However, I don't think it's a full immersion. So I think
It
it's just
can
a
be
base.
because I got
can
full
be.
on dunked in a big
depends,
tank.
I
it
didn't
depends
get
on
dunked,
Hey,
It depends
but
on the.
that's
it-
cool.
It depends
Father,
on the church.
Call me a pragmatist, but
You're a pragmatist.
thank you. Can't you just make your own holy water?
It takes time and quantities to create.
Another question:
I can.
Is silver the only thing you can bless, or is like
Oh
other metals?
no, I can do other metals work. Silver and gold are the most potent. Silver has been used within the church for purification from before the founding of the church itself.
So let's say, in theory, however many silver high blessed nails plus, let's say like a roof's worth of iron nails lesser blessed as shrapnel.
Iron is not a bad metal to bless.
I like
Iron
that
also has-
roof's worth as a quantity.
Iron also
Look,
has
I recently
certain
have a
benefits.
roof's worth of nails that are no longer useful as a roof.
It would be easiest for if we're going to do that, for us to get them into a large pile and then blessing them through that way. Again, the potency will be limited, but it will hopefully garner some sort of an effect.
Because I'm thinking iron nails dumped into holy water. You do bless. I build bomb. Put it all in there. Mix it all
A
up.
holy hand grenade, not a bomb.
Yeah, sure. Just a really, really big holy hand grenade.
Really big holy hand grenade.
Really, really big.
Like a minecart-sized holy hand grenade.
Like that says. That's totally still a holy hand grenade, right?
I think we have a plan as it stands.
Let's go build a bomb.
Let's go build a bomb.
He gets all like,
So you go back to your place, Tegan? Everyone goes there?
I'm assuming the general store is on the way back to my place.
It is. You have to cross the bridge and go through town to get back. You're on the other side
So
of town.
we should
Perfect.
probably stop there on the way through so we can get guns, ammo, soap, animal
Holy
fat, a rope, torches, chalk, just a bunch of bomb making
bird.
materials.
A bird.
A bird if they have it.
So you get to
Wouldn't
town.
the mine have birds? And
If we went to the mine entrance, we could,
oh, that's
but we're
correct,
not.
yeah.
When you get
We
to
also
town,
need a bird resuscitator.
Oh,
This is a
sweetie.
legit thing.
It
Okay,
is.
every
They will-
Google canary resuscitator.
Oh, didn't know.
Anyways. It's adorable.
All right. You get to the edge of town and you see that laying across the street and up on the decks and porches of everything, there are people, adults and children alike, passed out and thrown up all over the town. There is not a person walking around at all.
Everyone, prepare yourself for the feeling of intense drunkenness.
And you cross the bridge and you feel this intense pressure of alcohol. You feel in you. You feel like you're drinking or been drinking. Oh, Benny, you remember this feeling from when you met the tiger, but you remember you didn't actually drink, but you sure felt like you were drunk. And you are all almost within a few minutes, you are stumbling about a little.
I hate this.
Benny's also covering her face because the town's covered in vomit, and that probably reeks.
Oh yeah, it smells so bad.
So she started covering her face and then got
the
fake
door to,
drunk and is not.
the door to the general store is open, and traversing it is a little tricky. Just because it seems to move and shift a little as you walk toward.
If no one is anyone in there, man, in the general store?
There's someone in there sitting in the stool behind the counter and asleep, head on the desk.
I'm gonna grab as many pokes as possible and just start filling them with everything that we need, and then just leave money on the counter for them.
Can you make me an int check, please? I'd like
gosh.
to know how accurate this.
Does it help that I can find and identify crafting materials?
It does, yes.
Okay.
Would it help if I helped?
Would it help if I helped?
You'd be able to get things yourself, and she knows more about what she needs than anyone else. I would say you can't really help because you don't know what she needs. Wait, do you know how to make explosives?
Hell no.
I didn't think so. Okay. So yeah, I'd say.
No, in
that's
fact,
a-
I've got I have a inability in crafting magic. I'm trained in regular crafting though, but I'm just gonna go shopping and hope that I get something that she needs.
So I rolled a 15.
All right.
I'm hoping that that's enough.
So you fill the pokes with the stuff that you think you need, and you as you're doing it, you're like the roof starts spinning a little bit, but you think you got everything you needed, and oh my God, it is just uncomfortable to be in here. And can I get a might check? I'd like to know if you can hold in your food,
Ooh, boy.
or if you're going
I
to
don't
leave
know.
a special message in here that you've been
Takes
here.
physical strength to hold it down.
Yeah.
So that's a 2.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no.
You pile the bags up and you end up throwing up on your own bags. Like, oh no.
It's like it's the pile of money, and right beside the pile of money is a nice pile of something else.
Benny, you're having trouble staying up, like walking. Like you are so small that the alcohol is a lot heavier on you than on the others.